Without further ado, Rick, you are already sharing, and I'm going to pass it over to you.
Thanks, Colin. Appreciate it, brother. As Colin highlighted, the landscape in 2025 and trying to acquire new customers is very fragmented. Following the customer journey and having an omni-channel approach will absolutely get you in front of your customers faster and more efficiently than before. And that starts with congruent audiences and having all of the audiences that are powering the digital campaigns be used in every channel. So that way you're hitting that consumer with the highest frequency possible. So again, focusing on the right audiences are going to have increased conversions from those. And we're going to get attribution directly to what we can do for you, because when we start with the audiences, it's really easy for us to provide actual matchbacks and prove out the ROAS of the campaigns, because as we're flooding the media, we know who's buying and converting from the CRMs. So we can absolutely provide even more insight into how the marketing's working and what does and what does not work. And it starts with 4 audiences, your existing customers, lookalikes of your existing customers, non-converting website visitors, and then in-market, which is, the intent audiences. And we're able to identify those, enrich them for your existing customers, and give you digitally ingestible information from that, expand those with AI model lookalikes from our platform. And then again, as I said, attribution back to website visitors that haven't revealed themselves, fully outlining all of the parameters and UTM structures that we implement for digital ads to give us, again, that granularity to the transparency of the ads and the effectiveness of them. And that, again, allows us to do a ton of different stuff for clients, right? So we can give the attribution, do these ICPs. I'm going to show you some of this stuff live in a couple of seconds. Getting super personalized retargeting. Jen Dragon's going to talk about creative. And with our platform, we can create hyper segments of your audiences to make sure you're serving the right creative to those segments to make sure that they're activating accordingly. We can conquest your competitors. If you have different names of businesses that you work with, we can do conquesting on the intent of those and actually go after them before anyone else has a shot. We also have the ability to geofence and use offline data to enhance the online data component of the graph, so that way we're able to, again, serve that omni-channel, not just on the digital side, but also offline, and see how they're navigating as they're using mobile apps, etc. And it's really 2 components, right? The platform, which I'm going to show you guys in a second, and then the in-market data. And what we have found with the in-market data with CMG is it's moving the needle for every client that's activating it. I'm going to go through some case studies in a second, but again, foundationally, the whole point of having congruent audiences is that the digital landscape, as Colin said, is very fragmented. We have different audience models in every single walled garden, whether that's Meta, programmatic, Google, Bing, etc. They're all using their own models. So it becomes extremely hard to make sure you're not just serving a first impression, but you're actually serving the second, the third, the fifth, right? You're not wasting dollars on first impressions constantly because you're using the same audience. And with the in-market, we're able to stitch all of these signals on a daily basis. We deliver the file weekly to you, so you have the most up-to-date in-market audience that's available right now. So as folks are searching and they're in-market for home services, we're seeing that down to the very specific topic level. Again, I have some examples to show you. And then we can serve ads to them the next day, making sure that you're getting in front of those consumers before the competition does. I'm going to go ahead and scroll through this. I cover a lot of this in the thing, and everyone wants to talk about intent. So it's super important, and we love it, right? We're capturing right around 11 billion signals on a weekly basis. The screenshot you see, we saw 14 billion one week, and it does change every single week. Last week, it was 9 billion. This week, it's over 11 again, and it's all dependent on the different seasonality, the different topics that we track, etc. We currently are tracking over 41,000 topics that stitch down to our entire index of our graph, which is 229 million people. Included in those topics, we have 50 categories, 2,000 subcategories. We can get super granular. If we do not have a topic in our audience, we can actually add it and start collecting that topic for you, and then provide that audience within generally 3 weeks to serve marketing to. So it's very robust. It's a dynamic system. And the beauty of it, again, is that we're able to get these audiences activated extremely quickly. So that way, again, you're getting that first impression and not wasting any others. So before I go any further into case studies, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to go into the live platform so we can see some real results. So the first I'm going to show you is what our Pulse audiences look like within the AIM platform. And right here, you can see I've already looked at, for speed of use here, we have a lot of folks that want to talk here. I just pulled up HVAC, and I'm sure there's some HVAC folks in the room. We have every business service for home services in the Pulse file. I can search for it after the fact. If you have Q&As, you can send me a note. We can do it. But right now I have HVAC pulled up. I've selected HVAC, both for this business as well as consumer, cleaning services, installation, maintenance, etc. And that's showing us 4.3 million signals in the past 7 days, which then matches 2.7 million actual people in our graph. And that's great. That's a national number. You guys care about your locality, right? And again, Colin talked about that. We're all about the local market and making sure that we're getting the data down to that granular level. So I'm going to throw a polygon on here. The way the map works is we can do a lot of different things, but polygons are generally the fastest. I'm going to actually make this down for Jacksonville, the area. And now I can see within the zip codes that there's 12,367 folks in the past 7 days that are in market for those specific topics. The beauty of this is it's a subscription. So every week you're getting a new list of folks that have been in market in the past 7 days for the topics that you subscribe. And if we find that we need to add additional topics, it's part of the subscription. That's the beauty of the system. Because the platform is powering everything, everything's done there, and you can modify your campaigns with the audiences on the fly. I'm going to stop sharing on the Pulse side and then talk about the attribution. Real quick, I just want to show how fast our platform is able to show you how your customers actually look. So what we're looking at is a Northeast roofing company right now. This is coming off of their website. And what I'm showing you is in the past 30 days, we've actually been able to identify 6,100 folks that they did not know who they were. And from that, I'm putting that consumer profile on top of those people. So we can see what kind of traffic down to the individual we're getting and understand how should we more target to find folks like that. So we can see post-World War II, there's folks there, millennials, baby boomers, Gen X. Gen X is the most populous point of that audience. If we look at household, we can see that most of them are homeowners. Makes sense. It's a roofing company. Single family homes are primarily where it is. And financial, we can see that net worth is very high. Their mortgages are generally above 100,000, less than 400. Credit scores are above 600, and they have greater than 10,000 available credit, as well as the other one is 3,000. So credit lines are a little bit affected there. But again, I can apply over 80 different attributes with 500 different selects to every audience I put in the platform, which makes it extremely easy to understand very quickly who your ideal customer is. To go back to the deck again real fast to share, I would like to share some quick results with you before anyone asks questions or if we go to Jackie. Let me share my screen again. So, we have a home services company, right? And it's a regional roofing company. And what happened is in 1 month, they were able to drive over $80,000 in revenue directly attributed to the audiences that we served, right? And that's using all the different audiences. We're layering through social. We're using Pulse Pixel Global, which is all of the different audiences I went over. And then they're tracking down to the landing page view and how it's better performing and down to the sale. So we're actually 79,000 in verified revenue tied to the customer that we served ads to. In addition, overall, what we're seeing in a aggregate is that we're seeing a 76% decrease in landing page costs, right? The audience targeting from the lookalikes are outperforming third-party data sources in older lists, driving better results. And we're seeing increased lift results post-integration for every vertical, legal, home services, finance, and they're all showing measurable performance gains. That's the beauty of the platform, again, because we have the people from the foundation, we can tell you exactly how it performs at the outset. And then going through here, I just went over that, so I'm just going to go through this. This is the other part, right? The journey. This is super, super important. This is where we're able to show direct attribution, right? Because we have the ability to see everything that happens on your website and actually assign that to a human, not an ID like GA4 would, we can go down and show cross-click attribution, multi-click attribution, what's driving all of your conversions versus driving just first click, et cetera. Get very granular into the regionality, the time, and then tie it to actual humans. And the other thing too is that we can segment these and segment by campaign, segment by demographic information, et cetera, to create retargeting audiences for specific products or services you offer. And all of that is able to be done extremely easy in a conversational way. Our entire platform is AI powered, and you can literally type what you want, saying, I want 25 to 54 females, making over 100 grand a year within 25 miles of Jacksonville, and the platform will just produce that audience for you in seconds. And then once that's done, we can then attribute it back to the campaigns that it powered and what the results drove. And at the end of it, if we get a CRM list from you guys, if you provide that to Nathan or your salesperson, what we're able to do is actually we'll provide that match back and give you the granular how that customer closed, what source they came from, how many different sources they touched, and then what revenue it drove from you.